everyone, Michelle here, personal trainer and lifestyle coach. Today we're here to talk about our August 2022 theme of the month, understanding our interactions with foods. So the first thing I want to talk about is the term diet. Now, a diet, as we've defined it before, is just simply what a person eats. But we often put this negative connotation on a diet where it's a restrictive eating pattern. Now, there are tons of different diets that are restrictive. For example, the paleo diet, the keto diet, intermittent fasting, all of those types of things, the things that you read in magazines every day. But what we really want to think about is what are the things that we're eating and how do those things make us feel? We want to think a little bit more about trying to listen to our bodies and being intuitive. There's this term called intuitive eating, and it has some backing, but it also has some flack. But what we really want to consider is listening to our bodies. What does our body need at that time? What types of activities am I either going to do or have I done? And is my diet supporting those activities? So we want to think about also the emotional aspect of it. If you continue to restrict yourself again and again, then you start to almost fight against that. That's when a lot of people get into things like disordered eating, binge eating, all of those types of things. Is because they feel like they aren't allowed to have things. And that's almost all that you want at that point, right? So what we want to do instead is allow ourselves to have moderation, to be able to eat the things that we feel like we need to eat, that our body is telling us that it needs, and be able to see how we interact with those foods. If you thought about it and you could eat anything in the world, as much of it as you possibly could want, it probably wouldn't be the healthiest food. That's admittedly the same for almost every single person. But if you only ate that for a week straight, you probably wouldn't feel great. It probably wouldn't be your favorite food anymore, and you probably wouldn't want to eat it for a second week straight. So this is the type of thing where, a little bit of indulgence is okay, a little bit of balance, and again, that moderation is key. But we have to think what's sustainable, what's something that I'm going to be able to do long term, and something that I can continue to do for the rest of my life. What are these changes that I can make in order to make sure that my body feels good, that the next day I don't feel something bogging me down, my energy is not low. These are the types of interactions that we're looking for. And the more that we can identify what types of activities maybe that we did that interacted well with food, or when you ate during the day and those types of things, whether or not you consumed enough water, we start to take all of these factors into play, and we start to learn a little bit more about what our body needs and what is going to interact well with us, how we're going to feel better after we eat instead of worse, how much you need to be able to feel satisfied but not to feel bloated or full or those types of things. If you've ever eaten so much that you felt nauseous, those types of things, right? Again, every once in a while it happens, probably the holidays and those types of things. But we want to make sure that on a day-to-day basis, we're trying to maintain that moderation. We're trying to eat things that not only we know are going to be good for us, but also they're going to interact well with our system. So how we're going to be able to track this is we're going to do a food journal. Now, I'm not going to, force you to do MyFitnessPal or anything like that, but it's a great tool if you do decide you want to use it. But what we really want to do is write down the foods that we ate and how they made us feel. Maybe a couple hours later, maybe the next day, however you feel like it affects you, you're going to start to write down what that food did to you, either mentally or physically, however you need to do that. And then we're going to start to draw those patterns and recognize what foods we need at what times and what's going to be able to fulfill and satisfy what our body is trying to ask for. So please let me know if you have any questions about this. I'll include some resources at the bottom for intuitive eating and kind of understanding and listening a little bit more to your body. And then I am super excited to see what everyone comes up with. Thanks so much.